Hey guys, today we are taking a look at the Crane 2 from Zhiyun. Now this beast of a gimbal can handle larger DSLR cameras like you can see here, as well as smaller mirrorless cameras. We tested it mostly with our Sony a6300 mirrorless camera, which is definitely on the light side of what this gimbal can handle. You can see that it does come with a variety of cables that help you get some smarts from the controls over to your camera. In the case of the Sony, you can control the shutter. That's the main thing you can do. Also some zoom functionality. Now, everything about this gimbal is just top-notch quality, from the battery compartment to the tripod. Everything, we're just a huge fan of this thing. Now, you may have guessed already, we spend most of our time taking pictures and videos of drones and doing drone reviews, and here you can see us doing just that. This footage here taken from another gimbal, actually the Smooth Q, also from Zhiyun, our first Zhiyun gimbal, and we're quite happy with it. But what you can't do with that is hold anything really other than a GoPro or a smartphone, which don't have the shallow depth of field that you can get with a mirrorless camera or SLR. Now here in the winter cold, about the cutest thing you can take a picture of is a little kid in a colorful outfit to try to beat the cold and gray weather, which doesn't show a lot of visual interest. So we brought out the kids, put them in colorful coats, and we're going to do a little bit of running with them here to show just how stable this can be if you have the Crane 2 balanced well. So check this out. So super smooth. I'm running just as fast as they are, and this has got to be the most stable gimbal that we have ever played with. But in order to achieve that, you do have to spend some time getting it balanced. There's a total of 4 different locations you have to balance this thing to get it working right. So we recommend that you set it up with the lens you want to use and don't monkey with it too much. If you want to change out even a lens, let alone the camera, you're going to need to take a few minutes to get it balanced again to really get it working right. So there's the camera moving forward and backward and up and down as well. And you can see our Sony mirrorless is so light with this lens, even a medium-sized lens I would say. I added a little screw up there into one of their many locations you can mount an accessory weight just to get the center of gravity moved up a little bit higher, because I'm at the top range of travel moving it upwards. There you can just see how the camera is mounted on there. And as I mentioned, you can also throw an accessory in the flash mount up there as another way of getting the center of gravity higher on some of these lighter lenses. There you can see if the center of gravity is forward a little bit, it will do a controlled drop. It doesn't just totally drop your lens, but I don't recommend keeping it the center of gravity off that far. Do try to get it balanced as much as you can. It's just going to get you the smoothest footage possible when you're moving around, which is what you're doing with a gimbal typically. So there you can see it power down with it balanced, much less subtle motion. And finally, that 4th adjustment there, moving it forward and back, which is really only going to be important if you're holding the gimbal sideways. So next up, let's see what happens if you don't have it super well balanced. Here again, running, you do see some of that jitter that you get, and that's why it's kind of important to get it balanced as you can. Now that video of the dog was captured with the gimbal upside down, and you can see it's a pretty easy transition. It automatically transitions to that mode if you just rotate it, kind of like the hands on a clock, counterclockwise to get it upside down, clockwise to get it back, and sometimes you need a little adjustment. The gimbal angles do get a little out of whack sometimes doing that, but an easy adjustment to correct. Now let's talk a little bit about how you can control this thing from a smartphone. So you can set your gimbal down on a tripod and control any of the Zhiyun products with a smartphone app. This you can get a sense for kind of the roll angles, pitch angles as well, and the infinity spin on the yaw, and also the speed, just the power this thing has to move around. Unlike some other gimbals like the Osmo products from DJI, this guy will just keep going around and around in circles endlessly. Here you can see it with their much smaller gimbal, just over $100. The Smooth Q will hold your smartphone, and you can even use it to hold up a GoPro if you so want to. So you can see how I jumped into the ZY Play app there, and I'm doing gimbal control using the touch screen, switching between modes, pan following, locking, and following modes, and using the simple on-screen joystick. And you can see some access to a recover button, reversing controls, start and stop as well. Now you can also use the smartphone app to do what they call the motion time lapse. So you can set up waypoints basically, which is different gimbal angles for the camera to smoothly transition across over a set amount of time of your choosing. Now you can use that for actual time lapse on your camera, or just use it to collect some smooth video as I did there. Here's how you set that up, different menu, and just adding waypoints at different angles. You also can kind of lock out, pan, and tilt as you wish, so you don't get unwanted shift that you weren't looking for. Now that's it for today on the Crane 2. Hope you learned something. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. You'll see a lot more cool videos, mostly about drones. We'll see you next time.